one man is rewriting the rules and taking it to another level.
And the next level, and the next level.
The seventh level.
You just feel how natural it is. You feel how open you become to your prospects, and in response, they usually become more open to you.
Founded by Jeremy Miner, Seventh Level is the only friction-free sales system guaranteed to raise revenue.
In my life, it's been revolutionary.
And his followers are feeling the difference.
His training has transformed everything.
It is precise, and it really draws out emotions.
People around the world are starting to catch on.
We're going to tie in the new model of selling to your product or service that you sell.
These tools can work for anyone in any industry at any time.
And it's time to get on board before the ship sets sail. It's Seventh Level with Jeremy Miner.
All right, Jeremy Miner, let's go ahead and go live here on the TikTok phone and the IG phone. Yeah, then I think you can flip it when you click on more there or something like that. Flip camera. There you go. Or is it flip camera? Or yeah, there you go. Perfect. Oh, pretty good, Blake. All right, so we are live. This is our Tuesday live. So every Tuesday, we go live here on StreamYard on 5 different platforms. So we go live here in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. Love to see you guys here on my desktop. 110,000 of you in that Facebook group. That thing has grown rapidly. Going live here on YouTube, well over 100,000 subs there now. That's grown quick. LinkedIn, the Facebook business page, 170,000 of you run around on there. My personal Facebook. We're also going live here on the TikTok phone. We've got all these different cell phones here. This is the TikTok phone. And we're going live here on the IG phone. IG, I think there's 640 some thousand of you now, 645,000. Now, this week, we're going to cover something a little bit different that maybe you've ever heard before, because I want you to type in the chat. So whatever platform you're on right now, type in the chat if you ever notice when you ask questions. A lot of times your prospects, they just kind of keep their cards to their chest. They're not really opening up about their problems. In fact, you notice when you ask questions, they just kind of give you surface level answers. They're just vague. They're just kind of generalized. Now, if that's you, if you notice that happens a lot of the times with your prospects, type in me in the comments. Like, you know what? Why is that? Why do they, I mean, they're the ones that have problems. I can solve those. So why are they not wanting to open up to me? Well, I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you it's sometimes the questions you're asking, but actually most importantly, it's how you're asking the question. Now, what do I mean by that, Jeremy? Well, what I mean is by your tone. So I want you to write this down. Your tonality, your tone is how the prospect interprets the intention behind every question you ask. Your tonality is how they interpret why you're asking the question in the first place. So I'm going to show you, there's many different types of tone that we train you. So if you're one of our clients, you're in our virtual training platforms, our group training, there's several types of tone we train you. But there are 5 tonalities that you will need to master if you want to go from where you are now, even if you're doing good, to becoming like top 1% in your entire industry. Okay. So type in tonality in the comments if you want me to train you some tonality today. 5 types of tonality. Now I'm going to go for about 30 minutes. Now, are you going to master tonality in 30 minutes? Probably not. But I can show you how to start mastering it today if that's what you want. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to have you do first. So if you're on the live right now, I want you to go down to the bottom of your phone, and I want you in the comments, I want you to post hashtag live. So if you're on the live right now, post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, oh, my hair is a little bit off today. Crazy. I forgot the hairspray. If you're just joking, guys. If you're on the live, post hashtag live. If you're on the replay, I'm going to have you post hashtag replay. So if you're on the live, post hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. Now, what I'm going to have each of you do is I'm going to have you smash the heart button. So grab your phone. There's 340 of you here on IG. There's 250 on TikTok. The other platform, there's 180 of you on here. I want you to go smash the heart button, smash the like button. So smash the heart button several times, smash the like button. I have you do that because the more you do that, the more people can see this live and the more people we can all help together. Now, what I'm going to do, so if you're brand new to these lives, or if it's the first time you start to follow me, I'm the founder of Seventh Level. Seventh Level, we're a sales training organization that trains people like you. So we train salespeople like you, sales professionals like you, sales executives like you, sales leadership, management, ownership, entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, consultants, professional services, everything that's sold. And we train you certain skilled questions and techniques that work with human behavior rather than work against it. Now, are you 100% sure that what you've been taught is actually causing the prospect to actually want to open up? Are you 100% sure that it's not causing them to emotionally close down and stay surface level with you? So if you're not, I'm going to show you why that is today. All right. So type in the comments, #live, #replay if you're on the replay. Now we're going to talk about a few things here. I'm going to show you a few NEPQ questions. Okay. That stands for neuro emotional persuasion questions. So I'm going to show you some generic versions and how to use your tone with that. And then I'm going to show you some industry specific examples, maybe even your industry watching me here, and how to use your tone on that as well. All right. So let's come over here to the Vibe board. I'm going to show, let's see, I'm going to put you guys here, the IG phone here. Let's see if I can get everybody in here. Can't wait to get in the new office. This office is too small for me. Oh my gosh. Freaking home office is bigger than this thing. All right. Let's talk about the 5 different types of tonality here. Now, make sure you write this down. Now, the 5 main types that you're going to need to learn if you want to become a top 1% earner with what you sell are these. There's a confused tone. Now, Jeremy, why would you have a confused tone? Why would you have a confused tone? In certain context, a confused tone causes the prospect's brain to actually clarify what they mean. And when they clarify what they mean, they start building more pain. I'll show you how to do that. I don't mean like, oh, I'm confused how the product works. That doesn't make any sense. But if I want to trigger a prospect to open up more emotionally, let's say if a prospect says, yeah, it's just been causing a lot of stress. Hold on. How do you mean by stress? See, that's a confused tone. And subconsciously, what that does in the brain is it triggers in their subconscious to say this. Oh, he didn't understand what I meant by stress. I need to expand on that. I need to clarify what I mean. And they're like, well, what I mean is, and they start telling you what they mean. And that's when they start reliving pain and they start emotionally opening up. That's where I'd use a confused tone. Okay. There's other questions that are going to require more of a curious tone. Okay. Remember, your tone is how the prospect interprets the intention behind everything you say and every question you ask. Now, there's other questions that are going to require more of a challenging tone. What questions do you need to ask that cause the prospect to feel challenged where they push back, which actually causes them to pull you more in? I'm going to show you that. I can't use a challenging tone in my first couple of questions when I have zero trust and credibility, right? It's more further in the sales process, okay? There's other questions that are going to require more of a concern tone, a tone that shows more empathy. So when do I need to use a concern tone with certain questions? And there's other questions that are going to require more of a playful tone. When do I need a playful tone? And why would I use a playful tone in what context? All right. So make sure you write this down. Confused tone, curious tone, challenging tone, concern tone, and a playful tone. Write that down. Now I'm going to show you some different examples of this. Okay. All right. Let me give you a generic example first. And here's something that I want you to try on your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, a friend, anybody. I don't care who it is. The next time you hear anybody give you an emotional word, okay? Anytime they give you an emotional word like this, stressed, concerned, frustrated, annoyed, pressure, tension, any type of question that has any type of an emotion to it, simply repeat it back in a confused tone. And I literally want you to watch how they melt and tell you every single emotion they've ever felt about that word. So let's say the prospect's like, you know, I don't know. It's just, I'm just really concerned that if I keep doing this, it's going to X, Y, Z. Hold on. Concerned? Or I might say concerned. I might say frustrated, annoyed, stressed, tension. Yeah, this new project's causing us a lot of tension here in our apartment. Tension? Oh gosh. And they'll just expand. So anytime you hear an emotional word, okay, just simply repeat the word back in a confused tone. Concerned? Now, can I have a confused tone if my face doesn't move? No. See, your face, your facial expressions, I always say, are the remote control to your tonality. When you watch any movie, type in in the comments, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube here, Facebook group, Sales Revolution, personal Facebook here, Facebook business page, LinkedIn, everybody here. Type in the chats who your favorite actor or actress is. Type in the chat. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. You see it every day when you watch movies, you just don't know. Type in the chat who your favorite actor or actress is. In the chat, type in your favorite. Okay, somebody says Denzel Washington over here. Who do we got over here? We got Leo. Leo's a master at tonality. Jason Bateman, Al Pacino. Who else we got here? Russell Crowe, Leo, right? Who do we got? The Rock. Who else here? Type in the chat. Who's your favorite actor or actress? I want to see Jim Carrey. Let's see, Lie to Me actor, George Clooney, Denzel. Okay, give me some women actresses. Come on now. There's a bunch of guys watching me here. Jennifer Lawrence, that's great. Julia Roberts. She's a legend. Robert. Okay, Tom Hanks. Okay, now, every person that you typed in, when you watch them on a movie, everything they say is what? Viola Davis, that's good. Is what? It's 100% scripted. Every word, for the most part, you hear them say in that movie is 100% scripted. But does it sound scripted? No. It sounds completely natural. In fact, it sounds so real to you, you don't even view them as that actor or actress when watching the movie. You view them as the character they're portraying. Would I be right? You don't view Tom Hanks in Castaway as Tom Hanks. You view him as the guy who has the girlfriend who's on an island with a freaking volleyball going insane. That's how you view him, as the character, because of his tonality, his body language, and his facial expressions. Everything he says does not sound scripted. It sounds real. Can you imagine if you learned how to do that when you're selling, where you don't sound like a salesperson, how your prospects would let their guard down? Okay. Where did I learn advanced tonality? From acting instructors who teach a lot of these people that you learned from back in the day. Spent a lot of money, probably well over 6 figures on that. But one of the biggest things that acting instructors, really, really talented ones, teach you is that your facial expressions control your tonality, which triggers different emotional drivers in your audience's brains. So different tonalities, and I'm going to show you here. This is a start. I can show you how to adjust and reframe the way your prospect's thinking based on how your tonality comes across. Hold on, stress, okay, something like that. Hold on, how do you mean by stress, John? Okay, that's a confused tone. Okay, or I might say it like this, John, I'm not understanding. How do you mean when you said? See, confused tone. The confused tone triggers their subconscious to basically instantly say, he didn't understand what I meant by that. I need to explain that better. And that gets the prospect to open up. There you go, confused tone. Now, let's say if I'm Let me show you a few industry-specific examples for a confused tone. Then I'm going to show you a curious tone, okay? Let's say if I'm a real estate investor and I'm calling distressed properties, or I sell for a real estate investor. That's a huge industry we train in as well, okay? And let's say I'm talking to a landlord and the prospect says, my tenants aren't paying on time. Now, most people would just what? Oh, that's so horrible. And then they ask the next question on their script, and it sounds service level. But see, I want him to what? I want him to relive the pain. I want him to expand on the pain, because the more pain I can get the prospect to relive, the more what? The more urgency for them to actually change. What's the two biggest emotional drivers in a human being that causes them to want to change? Pain and the fear of future pain. If I can't get the prospect to relive pain of the problems, if I can't get them to have a fear of future pain, they don't feel any need to what? Change. And when they don't feel any need to change, that's why you get so many objections. That's why you lose sales that you should be making for your industry. Our clients in your industry are making those sales, okay? So, John, how do you mean your tenants aren't paying on time? Well, they're not. Okay, and how long has that been going on for? See, I don't know what he means when they say they're not paying on time. Does that mean every month? Does that mean it's happened 3 times? See, I don't know, and even if I did know, I want him to clarify and relive that pain. John, how do you mean your tenants aren't paying on time? Okay, and how often is that going on? Oh, that's been happening in the last 2 years they've been in the home. So them only paying like half of the time, has that had an impact on you? Now I'm into a concern tone. See what I just did there? Okay. Now let's say if you sell door to door, type in door to door. If you sell door to door, you could sell solar, you could sell pest control, you could sell alarms, you could sell HVAC, you could sell, there's a billion different products or services that sell door to door. Now, what are most prospects used to when a door-to-door salesperson knocks on their door? Hey, are you guys the homeowners here? Hey, nice to meet you. Hey, my name is Jeremy Miner. I'm here in your neighborhood because we're doing a prospect just doesn't even listen to you at that point. Oh, not interested. Oh, solar, no, we're good. Oh, pest control, no, we're good. Oh, alarms, we're not interested. See, you're triggering that because of your tonality. So I want to use what's called a pattern interrupt with a confused tone. Okay? You want me to show you how to do this? So I might knock on the door. Let's say if I'm selling solar. So I'm going to look around, act like I'm looking at something. Let's say if I'm selling solar. So if I'm selling solar, I'm probably going to look at the roof, right? Where the panels might go. Or if I'm selling roofing, I might look at the roof. If I'm selling pest control, probably looking at the cobwebs or the ground with the ants. If I'm selling alarms, maybe I'm looking around where intruders would break in, or maybe looking at the front yard where I'd put the sign for advertising or whatever, okay? I'm just looking around. I don't look like a salesperson, all right? So I'm knock on the door. They come to the door, and I'm like, yeah, are you guys the property owners here? Now, do you know what they're going to be? Yeah, we're the property owners. What's going on? I only did that because I'm using a confused tone. That is a pattern interrupt. And that I might know a thing or two about door to door. That was my first sales job out of school. In that industry that I was in, it had been the top salesperson in the entire country out of tens of thousands of people in this space when I was there. That was the first job that I had as a door to salesperson. I had to learn how to do pattern interrupts every single time. Nobody slammed the door. Yeah, are you guys the property owners here? Confused. Yeah, we're the property owners. What's going on? Boom. Pattern up right there. I trigger curiosity. See what I'm doing? Okay. Now let's keep going. All right. Now, how do we use more of a curious tone now? Okay. So where would we use curious tone? Curious tone is going to be a lot in your connection questions, situation questions, where you're getting the prospect to let their guard down, and you're helping them and you find out what their real situation is. So this would not be my first connection question. We'd have to tweak this based on your industry. This is a generic version. But let's say that you're selling something and they responded to an ad on Facebook, and now you're calling them back. Okay. They saw somebody talk about something on Facebook. They know somebody's calling back. You're calling back. This is generic right here. So, hey, so when you saw the ad yesterday where they were talking about XYZ, what was it that John was going over that caused you to, want to look into this further? What tone? That's a curious tone. Now, why would I have a curious tone? Because the prospect, that's how they interpret the intention behind the question I'm asking. I'm curious. See, I don't need to say, I'm curious. I'm curious, John. I'm curious, Leah. I'm like, that's overused. Don't say that. Hey, so when you saw the ad the other day where they were talking about XYZ, like, what was it that he was going over that caused you to, want to maybe look into this further? That's a curious tone. See what I'm doing right there? Okay, let me show you some other examples. All right. Now, this is called an NEPQ situation question, okay? Now, this is a generic example. So walk me through. What do you guys use now for XYZ, just so I have more understanding? Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about what you're doing for ABC, just so I understand a little bit better? See, that's a curious tone. See, curious tone, okay? They interpret that I'm genuinely curious about the question. Now, let me give an industry-specific example. Let's say if I'm selling for a marketing agency and I'm talking to companies, and let's say my marketing agency gives them better branding, helps run their ads. It could be multiple things, okay? Okay, so walk me through. What do you guys do now to generate new leads and clients so I have a better background? Okay, and what do you guys do now to generate new leads and clients? That's a curious tone. See what I'm doing there? Curious tone. Walk me through. This is an example of an NEPQ lead-in phrase. Now, you can't say walk me through 4 times in the conversation because that's going to sound like weird, right? Oh, what do you guys do now to generate new leads and clients so I understand? That's if I sold marketing agency, okay? Now, let me give you more examples. Now, in this example, I'm going to show you how in some questions, you're going to use different tonalities. Oh, I know, crazy. So there could be some questions where I'm asking kind of in a confused / skeptical / concerned tone. I know it sounds crazy. There's all these different modalities of tonality. Now, if you want to learn, if you want to acquire like advanced tonality so you can sound more, DM me right now. If you're on IG, if you're on TikTok, if you're in the Facebook group or YouTube, DM me now tonality. And somebody in my team will message you back some different options if you want to acquire the skill, because I'm just giving you an intro here. Are you going to be able to master this in 30 minutes? Probably not. Okay, right? So are you 100% satisfied with the results you've been getting? Now, this is a generic question. Whatever I'm selling, I'm going to plug in. So are you 100% satisfied with the results you've been getting? Now, what type of tone was that? It was kind of like a skeptical / I'm confused / I'm concerned that you're not. Now, why would I say 100%? Why not say, are you satisfied with the results you've been getting from XYZ? Yeah, we're satisfied. But if I simply put in that one thing there, are you 100% satisfied with the results you've been getting? You know what they're going to say? Well, we're not 100%. Well, not 100%? Do you know why? Because no one is 100% happy with anything they have. Think about the car you bought a year ago. You loved that car when you drove it off the lot. Is there something you don't like about it now? More than likely there is. Think about the person you're dating right now. You started dating them 8 months ago, 2 years ago. The first 2 months, they were completely perfect. 6 months later, you found what? Some things you didn't like. See, no one likes 100% of what they have. That's how human behavior works, okay? See how that works, okay? Okay, I think he acting too confused. The consumer is going to think confused about what you're selling. Well, I love you. Oh, I'm confused about the product. I don't know how it works. No, you wouldn't do that. But if I want to get them to open up, you probably want to learn tonality unless you want to sell the way you are now that's kept you at your income. I might know a thing or two of this. I made a few dollars as a salesperson. If you made more than I did in my sales career, whoever said that on IG, come over here and train me for sure. You might want to Google my name. All right, so are you 100% satisfied with the results you've been getting? See, I'm skeptical. It's like I know something they might not know. Well, we're not 100%. Now, let me show you this. Let's say if you sold life insurance, and let's say you find out in that conversation that they already have a $100,000 work policy. And you know that they might bring that up as an objection on why they don't need more coverage. So what am I going to do there? So, I mean, John, you've got this $100,000 work policy. I mean, what's caused you to feel like that's not going to be enough for Cindy, though? Now, what type of tone did I just use? That's a concerned / confused tone. Like, I'm confused. How would this be enough? Now, I'm not saying that, but see, I'm concerned. So you've got this $100,000 work policy. I mean, what's caused you to feel like that's not going to be enough for Cindy and the kids? Well, the reason why I don't feel like it's going to be enough is X and Y and Z. And see how they start telling themselves why that's not going to be enough. Now, if I'm selling life insurance, is that probably a good thing for you and the prospect? Yes, but it's how I use my tone. Because listen to me if I say this with no tone. If I just say this in a monotone tone, listen to how it sounds. So you've got this $100,000 work policy. What's caused you to feel like it's not going to be enough? Well, it might be enough. See, my tone is how the prospect either opens up and goes below the surface or stays surface level. Not even the question I'm asking. So, I mean, the mattress that you have right now, I mean, it's a fairly decent mattress. I mean, what's caused you to feel like you might want something newer? Somebody just asked me on TikTok for a mattress example. See how easy that was, Raymond? I mean, you've already got this XYZ mattress. I mean, it's a fairly decent mattress. I mean, what's caused you to feel like you might want something newer? See what I did? Now, why would I say that's a fairly decent mattress? What type of tone did I just use? I mean, that's a fairly decent mattress. Why would I say that's a great mattress you already have, or that mattress you have is horrible? See, when I say fair, that's fairly decent. What did I just seed in that prospect's brain? That what they have is not that good without me saying that. Because if I tell them it's not that good, they're going to get what? Defensive. See what I'm doing there? Now, all of you are like, give me an example for my industry. That's all in our virtual training portals for our clients in your industry. Now, if you want questions for your industry and all the tonality, it's all right there. You would just need to be a client. But that would require what? That you got to get funding together if you want to learn those skills to sell more. Is it worth it to sell 2 to 3 times more than what you are now? Or you just want to just hope and pray that somehow you're going to sell more next week, next month, next year, without us training you how to do it? There you go. Success is simply a choice. I hope you choose well for you and your family. Okay, let's keep looking here. Let's keep going here. All right, consequence questions. Now, where would I use a challenging tone? Because I can't use a challenging tone in the first couple of minutes of a conversation when I have zero trust and credibility. But 3/4 of the way through, once I get them to see what their future looks like, once the newfound problems are solved, I can simply do this. So this is a generic example here. So what are the consequences if you don't do anything about this? What are the ramifications if the company doesn't actually push this through for your department? So what are you going to do if this actually stays the same though? See, that's a challenging tone. Okay. It's like I'm getting them to think and feel and internalize the consequences if they don't do anything about changing all of these newfound problems that my question and tonality ability has allowed them to see they have now. What are the consequences? All right. Now, let me show you a couple industry specific examples. Now, let's say that you sell business consulting, huge industry for us as well. Let's say you could teach, your company comes in and teaches like how to have better culture, how to, build more recognitions and award programs. This is a huge industry, huge billions of dollars. Okay. So now this question here is a long question. So I need to verbal pace this out, because if I just say the question real quick, my prospect has what? No time to interpret, no time to think about what I'm asking. That's why they give you knee-jerk reactions. Do you see what I'm doing there? So, I mean, what happens if your company doesn't do anything about this? Your engagement scores stay the same. And like you mentioned, you keep losing your top people to XYZ competitor. I mean, what are the ramifications for you at that point? See, I started off with a challenging tone. I end with a concerned tone. Now, why would I do that? Take a look at this. So what happens if you don't do anything about this? Your employee engagement scores stay the exact same, and you keep losing your top people to XYZ competitor. I mean, what are the ramifications for you guys at that point? Now, why would I start off with a challenging tone? See, after my solution awareness questions, after I've got them to see what the future looks like once the newfound problems are solved, I then push them away, where they pull me back in and defend themselves on why they have to make a change. What about wholesale HVAC? One of the biggest industries you're trained, Scott, all in our virtual training portals for our clients. If you want to learn how to do that, message me directly. Try to get into our training programs, because we teach you all that times 10,000. You just got to make a decision to want to get trained, and you can get trained how to sell more. Otherwise, you keep getting the same results you get right now. Success is simply a what? A choice. You just have to choose if you want to get in the training programs or not. Okay? Easy peasy. Now, why am I going to say concern tone again? What are the ramifications for you at that point? See, then I drop down into a concern tone. See what we're doing there? Okay, let me give you some more examples. Now, okay, let's say if you sell solar. I'm going to show you this right here. Now, look how long this question is. If I say the question too fast, the prospect what? Has no time to internalize the question. Guys, I love all of you. You're all asking me for all different examples for industry. We already train your industries. We train 161 different industries. Do you know how many industries are in the world? 163, according to Forbes, not me, Forbes magazine. And there's subsets of each industry. We train every one. I think we're the third or fourth largest sales training company in the United States now. We train every company. So if you want construction, commercial, hot tubs, it's all in our virtual training portals for our clients. We teach all of that. It's all there. You just got to ask. If you want to become a client, message me directly, and you can message my team about different training options if you want to sell more. Okay? I love you. All right. Make a decision to increase your sales. That's all you got to do, and learn how to do it. Okay, so what happens if you don't do anything about this, and Duke Energy keeps raising your rates like they have, but now you're 75, 80 years old, and they're still forcing you to pay the bill every month, but the bill's 3 times as high, and you're what? Yeah, you're on a limited income. I mean, how would you guys pay for it at that point? See how I'm verbal pacing it out, okay? Now, what happens if I didn't do that? What happens if you don't do anything about this, Sally? They keep raising your rates every year like they have. Now you're 75, 80, still being forced to pay the bill, but now the bill's 3 times higher and you're on a limited income. How would you pay for it at that point? Well, I don't know. We just, hopefully our kids would help us out. That's what you're going to get, because you haven't mastered how to use your tone to get the prospect to internalize and think much deeper about the question you're asking. So what happens if you don't do anything about this? They keep raising your rates like they always have, but now you're 75, 80 years old, and they're still forcing you to pay the bill every month. And it's what? It's 3 times as high, and you're on what now? Yeah, limited income. I mean, how would you guys be able to pay for it at that point? Now, why would I say you're forced to keep paying the bill? Because nobody likes to be made or forced to do anything. See the little word tracks we're putting in there that causes them to resist what they already have. bill every month, the bill's 3 times as high, limited income. See, now they're seeing the consequences if they don't go solar. If I'm selling solar, if they just stay paying the rate hikes from the utility company. Now, this is a generic version of an NPQ probing question. I can just simply lean in. What's really holding you back from moving forward? So let's say if the prospect just won't open up, I can't overcome their concern. I can just lean in and say, what's really holding you back from moving forward? I never see logistics examples. Whoever you are on Facebook, you probably want to get in our training courses because that's a big industry for us. I can't give 161 different examples of every single question in NEPQ in a 30-minute live. I love you, but you're going to have to get into our training portals if you want to learn how to do this for your industry. Nothing I can do if you don't, okay? Choice is yours. Choose well. Okay, problem awareness questions. Look at this here, okay? Look what I'm doing here. So I'm going to lean in. Let's say that I'm going to lean in. I find out about all their expenses, all that stuff, what policies they have. I mean, do you want to have to pay? Do you want Cindy to have to pay for all those expenses if you didn't have to? Well, no, if I didn't have, well, how many months would Cindy be able to pay for the house payment and all the expenses without your income, Dan? Well, I'm not really sure. Well, if you really thought about it, 6 months. So after 6 months, like, what would she and the kids do at that point? See what I'm doing there? Concern tone and a concern tone and a concern tone. I mean, do you want Cindy to have to pay for the expenses in the house if she didn't have? Do you want her to have to get a second job and pay for all the expenses if she didn't have to? Well, no, if she didn't have to. So how many months would she be able to pay for the house and the credit cards and all the car payments and bills without your income? Most will say, I'm not really sure. Well, if you really thought about it, how many months? 5, 6 months. So after 5 months, what would her and the kids do without your income at that point? See, then I'm going into a concerned tone. Now, if I said, well, what happens to the kids in that point if you don't pay for their health, if you don't get life insurance for them, they're going to get defensive, okay? I'm going to use more of a concern tone, all right? Now, where would I use a playful tone? We've come to the 5th tone. Why would I use a playful tone? Because a playful tone causes the prospect to let their guard down, okay? So let me give you an example. Let's say the prospect, you're on Zoom, and it's an inbound appointment. You meet them on Zoom, and they ask you, hey, how's your day going? What would most of you say? Oh, it's going really good. I'm having a great day. And that's fine, but it doesn't help you at all. So I want to disarm the prospect to help them let their guard down. So I might lean and say, oh, just hanging out, being the boring guy. What about you? You being boring over there? Oh, I'm sure you're not boring. Playful tone. Now, what if I said it like this? How you doing today, Jeremy? Oh, just hanging out, being the boring guy. Whoa, you really are boring. That's kind of weird. Oh, just hanging out, being boring. What about you? What are you doing over there? Oh, I'm sure you're not boring. See, the playful tone causes them to laugh, causes them to open up. I could say, oh, so how you doing today, Jeremy? Oh, just trying to stay out of trouble. What about you? You getting in trouble over there? Oh, no, I'm sure you're not getting into trouble. Oh, I'm always getting in trouble over here. I could do this. Well, let's say if a prospect says, well, let's say in the conversation, they say, well, just to be honest with you. Do you ever get that? A prospect says, well, just to be honest with you, when I do this or blah, 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 blah. A way to be playful to disarm them is like this. Well, thanks for being honest with me. Goodness gracious. See, I used a playful tone. Well, thanks for being honest with me. Goodness gracious. I'd hope you'd be honest. Now, what did that just seed in their mind about me? That I'm honest. Well, thank you for being honest. Goodness gracious. Oh, I'm always trying to be honest. I just literally seeded that I'm honest as well by saying that, but I have to say it in a playful tone. If I'm like, thank you for being honest, John. Whoa, that's really weird and awkward. Well, thank you for being honest. Okay. Or let's say an example, let's say if you're selling final expense insurance. I just did a big training for a huge company for that. Okay. And our portals, huge industry, we're training as well. And they're like, oh, I don't know, she'll have to deal with it with her new husband. Is she already trying to replace you now, John? Oh, no, I'm sure she's not. Well, in all seriousness, because we don't want you sleeping on the couch tonight, how would she pay for the funeral without having the policy? See what I just did there? Oh, she'd have to just have her new husband, figure that out after. Is she already trying to replace you? Oh, see, playful tone. Well, hey, we don't want you sleeping on the couch tonight. How would she pay, though, without your income? Serious tone, concerned tone. See how that works? All right. Hope that helped you today. Now, we are going to be going live tomorrow inside the Facebook group only. So every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, we interview a client from a completely different industry who's crushing your numbers, watching me right here. Clients that are making tens of thousands of dollars a month in commissions. Now, does that mean you're going to make that much money just because you watch them on an interview? No. You got to learn skills, right? If you want to make more sales with whatever you do. So if you want to be on tomorrow, you can ask them any question. You can ask me any question. That's going to be right at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always start right on the dot. And I will let you ask me and them any questions. Now, we only go live on Wednesdays in the Facebook group. We don't go live on TikTok or Instagram. So if you want to make sure you're in our Facebook group to get those lives, I'm going to have somebody drop the link to the Facebook group. Go to salesrevolution.pro. So if you want to get inside the Facebook group, go to salesrevolution.pro, or you can just go to Facebook in the search engine in Facebook and type in Sales Revolution. Sales Revolution. There's about 110, 112,000 people in there. We go live in there about 2 to 3 times a week with different Q&As. Different trains. Salesrevolution.pro. Sales. I'm going to repeat it 3 times. Salesrevolution.pro. Salesrevolution.pro. Let's have somebody on the team drop in the Sales Revolution website there. You guys can go there. Now, in the chats, I'm going to do one last thing for you to help you out. In the comments, I want you to type in let's do this. How much money you feel like you're losing each month that you should be making? Well, yeah. How much money do you feel like you lose each month in sales that you should be making? Like, I need to make this. So type in the comments what you feel like you really need to make per month as a salesperson. Now, it could be your base plus commission. You could be on just strictly a base with your industry. You could be on straight commissions. So in the comments, type in how much money, how much commissions you feel like you really need to make each month. Like, if I could make this, problems go away. So in the comments, type in some of your 10 grand a month, 40 grand a month, 50, 15 to 20, another 10 grand a month, 40. What do we get over here? 15,000 a month. So type in how much a month you feel like you need to make as a salesperson. Like, if you could make this amount. Now, don't give me anything unrealistic. Like, I want to make 500 grand a month and I'm a W-2 salesperson. You're going to have to learn a lot more skill level to get to that level. I can assure you. Okay. 20,000, 2,500. Okay. A lot of different things. Now, in the chats, look at that number you typed in, or what you have in your mind of what you feel like you really need to make. Like, if you can make this in commissions, it's going to help, pay more things, whatever you do with your money. This is you guys. It's not me saying that you should make this. This is you guys saying what you want to make. Now look at that number. How are you going to do that? How are you going to make that? Specifically, how? Are you going to work twice as many hours? You already work 8 to 10 hours a day. Are you going to work 16 to 20 a day? Probably unrealistic unless you just don't want to have a life. So if you're going to do that, if you want to make that money, how will you be able to get to that level with the questions you're asking your prospects now? How will you get to that level with the tonality you use now? How will you get to that level with the way you handle objections now? Well, you can't, because it's kept you where you're at. So if you want to get to the level you typed in, you have to do what? You have to acquire a much higher level of sales ability than what you currently possess. Would you be right? Okay. Now, do you believe that a person who knows something, who has knowledge or a skill level that you have not learned yet, do you believe that same person can train you and teach you that same knowledge? Type in yes if you believe that. Do you believe someone who has knowledge or skill level that you have not acquired yet and has already proven that, not just said that, do you believe that same person can teach you that same knowledge, can train you that same skill level, and you can go out and get results with what you do? If you believe that, type yes. Now, for you that believe that you can actually acquire skills and not just sit around dreaming about it, oh, I hope and pray somehow I'm going to magically sell more and not do anything about it, message me directly right now. So if you're on TikTok or Instagram, message me directly right now. If you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, the Facebook group, the Facebook business page, or my Facebook, message me directly right now. That's all you got to do. Now, when you message me directly, geez, out of all these platforms, there's about 1,400 of you on right now. There's probably 200 or 300 that are going to message me, because those are the ones that really want to do something about it rather than just complain about their situation forever. And doers are what? Well, they do something, right? A good friend of mine said, the path to one day I'll learn how to sell more, one day I'll learn how to do it, is the path that leads to nowhere. Today is the day to start learning. Today is the day to learn skills to sell more. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year, not 10 years, because you'll never what? You'll never do it. Let's be real with yourself. So when you message me, somebody on my team or myself, I'll message a few of you back, but somebody else on my team will message you. We'll have some questions for you. Are you going to do yourself a favor and be open a little bit and tell us what you feel you might be saying or asking, or your tone that's causing you to lose sales that you feel like you should be making? Because the more honest you are with us, the more we know where we can help you. If you just hold back everything, there's nothing we can do for you. And so message us directly in the DMs. You can message me directly. If you don't know how to message me, just post hashtag NEPQ, and we'll message you back. And then we'll find out more about your skill level. And based on what your skill level is, some of you will be able to meet with one of our account managers. They'll go through all the different training products we have. We don't have one product or anything like that. We have 36 different versions, depending on your skill level. And depending on your skill level, will be dependent on where the account manager will say which program to start with in our training, because you have to get certified in our program. You have to move up. You can't start at the most advanced stuff unless you already make a certain amount of commissions per month. We won't let you start in advanced inner circle. It'd be too overwhelming for most of you. Too much training. So you'd start more at a different level of our training and get certified and work your way up. Okay, that's the way our training programs work. All right, so message me directly right now if you want to start learning how to sell more of your products and services. We love all of you guys. Have a good night. Make sure you're in the Facebook group Sales Revolution tomorrow when I go live. I'll interview a client breakdown. You guys can ask them any questions, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your week. Finally getting over my freaking cold. I've had it like 2 weeks. Crazy. All right, everybody. DM me if you want to learn more. We'll see you soon.